Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Thursday Night CrossFit Talk, sponsored by Clydesdale Media. My name is Scott Switch. I'm the Clydesdale. She is Jamie Latimer, and we're so stoked to have with us, to start off the show, Matt Shingledecker and Debbie Wagner.
Hey, guys.
So stoked to have you guys on. And just so people know, I've known Matt. He was at my first ever volunteer job with CrossFit at the Cincinnati Regional in 2014.
A long time ago.
And we were on the same team.
Yes, right.
And that's when I met. That was an epic regional. That was Pancheck, Froning, toe-to-toe, like 3 finishes less than a second apart. Super amazing regional. And I got to meet so many people that I'm still friends with today in the CrossFit Space at that weekend. And Matt was one of them. So that's super cool that here we are 10 years later and still hanging out.
That's right. That's awesome. That's awesome. I remember that very clearly. That was a lot of fun that weekend.
Yeah, so much fun. So the reason we have you on is you're doing amazing things here in the state of Ohio with
That's so cute. Oh,
you got a comment from
Wagner.
That's my mom.
Hey, buddy. That's my college kid.
adorable.
So you two are doing amazing things here in Ohio, and it started with your gym, CrossFit Crave, and you did a program with kids. Let's start there. Just quick recap, 5 minutes, and then we'll get into what you're doing for 9/11.
Yeah, I'll let Mom jump into that.
So in 5 minutes, we have a CrossFit class for our local county kids who are on probation. So it is part of court-ordered probation. It is funded through the court. Probation officers work out with the kids in a class that is run just like all of our other classes, providing that same sense of community, consistency, equality, physical health, mental health, emotional health that we know that CrossFit provides for everyone. And a huge part of that component is all of our coaches go through their L1 or L2. And they also have a specialized trauma training that we have developed with a local psychologist, which has led to a decrease of crime. So all of the things that we listed, the community and everything, have really given the kids a place to belong and a place to know they can do good things and a desire to do more good things. And so we have found as a result of that, when they're dismissed from probation, they are less likely to reoffend. So national averages are 60 to 80% of people, kids and adults, who get released from probation or parole will reoffend within a year of being released. Our average is about 23 to 24%. So on the low end, we go from 60 to 23, 24, which is huge. And so because of that, in the last few years, we are working to duplicate that everywhere we can. So at every gym, everywhere we can right now in the US and Canada.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And what's even more amazing, I work for the state. You got state grants to kind of fund this for a while, correct?
Always.
Yeah,
it's always state funded.
Yeah, it's a state funded grant, and all of the other states are kind of following suit from what Ohio has done. What we've found and what we've learned over the course of the last 6 years running the program is, every county and every state, they obviously have juveniles that are in trouble or in the judicial system, but there's always funding there. You just got to know where to find the funding. And we've been fortunate enough to work alongside, at the director's level in the state of Ohio with the governor's office, both in the juvenile court, Director Ast, who's the Division of Youth Services Director, and then Director Annette Chambers-Smith, who is the DRC Director. She runs the adult side of the court system, if you will, when it comes to incarceration. And through those individuals, we've been able to learn, where the funding's at, how to use the funding appropriately, how to apply for it, or how to help counties apply for it, whether it's a grant or they write it into their yearly budget. And I think the biggest thing that is missed, from an affiliate owner's perspective, we love to help people out. And a lot of times we jump into adventures where we're doing really good works. But there's really, we're investing time, and yes, we're helping people, but there's no funding that supports that. So the burnout rate is really, really quick. And it's unfortunate because there's a lot of people that want to do a lot of great things, but at the end of the day, when I'm trying to pay my bills and buy a new rower and, make sure the lights are on, there's a tough balance. And this program allows the affiliates to still do great things inside of their community, but also get paid for that, directly from either the state or the county, depending on where the money's coming from. It's no different than Dale King's program where, Medicaid, is working, and there are people that come through the addiction services side of it. It's kind of the same thing. So as we've branched out side of Ohio, there's a couple of terms that they throw out. One, pro-social. They want these kids to be in an environment that's pro-social. How do I get them around other people that will help them self-advocate for themselves, understand where they're at? The other side of that, it's got to be evidence-based. So if you're looking for a program, you can say, hey, I've got this great fishing program, or I've got this great golf program where it helps kids out. But if you don't have the data behind that says, okay, what are the incident rates? Like Debbie said, what's the recidivism rate of your program? Most programs can't speak to that. And we're fortunate enough, we've got 6 years of history. We've got multiple locations now where we have that data. We can tell you what recidivism looks like. We can tell you the demographic of where these kids come from, whether they're in an adoption setting, are they in counseling? Did they come out of a juvenile detention center? We know most of that data. So that really helps promote the program. So it's a lot of fun. We're now moving into the juvenile detention centers, the long-term juvenile detention center. You'll like this. The great state of Ohio has the first full-fledged CrossFit affiliate inside the walls of Cuyahoga Hills Juvenile Correctional Facility. So we opened up 6 months ago, right? 6 months ago.
Just about.
It's called CrossFit. You can look it up on the map. It's official. It's on the map. It's called CrossFit DYS, the Wolfpack. And it's just outside of Cleveland, Ohio. And it's the first one of its kind. They pay their affiliate dues just like we do, but it's housed inside of the prison, and it's for the kids that are in the detention center and the juvenile prison, and all of their staff, if their staff wants to attend, which we have a huge number of staff. So that's kind of that's the cool thing. Go ahead.
So I have one quick follow-up. I know that you've been trying to expand this to other states, and you said Canada. There's so many good programs here in Ohio because of what you and Dale have kind of spearheaded at the beginning of this. Is it that you've already made inroads with Ohio, that they keep moving down the track with you guys? Or do you see this in other states as well? So
here's, and Dale and I tend to agree. I was actually on another podcast, and I don't know if it was, it might have been Savon's or it might have been Craig Howard's. And I said, historically, and I'll try to say this lightly. Historically, CrossFit has taken the approach of, hey, this has got to be grassroots. We can't go into an institution like a school or like a correctional facility. We can't go into an institution and say, here's CrossFit. Let us see if this works. It's got to be, CrossFit has always had the mindset, for whatever reason, it's got to be kind of grassroots led. We've got to get coaches and people involved, and we've got to get people in the door. when realistically, all you have to do is ask the question, knock on the door. It's no, and I come from a sales background, Scott, as you know, it's no different than making a cold call. I will never grow my business if I don't knock on the door and say, hey, I've got this great product. So what we've found is if you ask the right questions to the right people inside of that institution, whether it's a school, a state, the Supreme Court of Arizona, if you ask the right question to the right people, you'll find the answer you're looking for. You just have to be willing enough to ask. And that's what our experience has been as we've grown throughout the different states and affiliates that have come alongside of us and said, hey, me too, I want a program. When we reach out to the county, and it may take 3 or 4 calls, right, Debbie?
Right.
When we reach out to a county, what we find typically, I'd say 90% of the time, there's somebody inside of the county that says, hey, that sounds great. We need a program like that, and I might know how to get funding. But if we don't ask, we'll never know. Mm-hmm. If we stay in that, well, they'll come to us. I'm sorry, that's just not going to work. Mm-hmm. Did I answer that? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I would just add that for us, the way the program took off was the recidivism rate, because our probation staff has to track it. So this whole thing was the idea of the probation officers, not ours. So there's our disclaimer right there. Yeah. We are not the brainchild of this. This is not us. But that recidivism rate caught the attention of the governor's office. Mm-hmm. So they actually sent 31 people from their staff to our affiliate a couple of years ago, and to see the program firsthand, talk to the coaches, talk to the probation staff, talk to the psychologists who are the trauma training, and they worked out with the kids. And after they did that, they realized, we have to figure out the funding, but the main idea is super duplicatable. Mm-hmm. So let's do it. So that's why it spread so quickly throughout Ohio, because the governor's office and the director of DYS said, hey, go. Let's get on a call with probation officers all across the state at once, and let's see how many people we can get. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of filtered affiliate owners who are friends with other affiliate owners. And that's kind of how it spread from state to state. But inside Ohio, it came from the top down from the governor's office. Yeah.
So I think Dale would agree with this. And that's it. I went a long way around to get to the point I was trying to make is if we don't, as affiliate owners, go, if you want a program like this or a program like Dale's, if you don't ask, you'll never be able to start it. Mm-hmm. If you just don't, if you sit back and say, well, they'll come to us, it's probably not going to happen. Right. But if you could be proactive and go out and say, hey, I've got a heart to save the community. We have the solution to the world's most vexing problem. We have it. And a lot of times the individuals that need it the most will never walk in our doors. Mm-hmm. They just won't. Right. But if we go knock on their door and say, hey, I've got this program that can help you. And oh, by the way, I can probably help you try to find funding for it. Then they'll start to come in. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the approach that we've taken, mm-hmm. I think.
We went over the 5 minutes.
Sorry. Yeah.
We probably just have to have you back on. Or really, Jamie's in Michigan. We could almost meet at CrossFit Crave and do a live show there.
Yeah, come on down.
Because it's about halfway between her and I. So
mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I want to get into the 9/11 climb mm-hmm. event and make sure we touch on that. Mm-hmm. I have so many questions about the other thing, but we'll do that. We'll give it. We'll do on another night, another day. The 9/11 climb. So how do you transition with working with the governor's office and the state of Ohio, and then get them involved with an event that they are sponsoring? Their name is all over it. And I'm going to share your poster for that.
So as you share that climb, as you pull it up there, I'll try to give the shortest answer, and then Debbie can follow up on the areas that I miss. So Andy Wilson, who is a a CrossFitter. He comes out of Urbana, Ohio, Long Road, Nate Long and his gym there. Andy Wilson was the individual that contacted us originally about our juvenile program. He was, at the time, he was the senior director of law for Mike DeWine. So he reported to Governor DeWine, and he was the senior attorney, if you will. So that's kind of where the relationship started. And there was always this thought of, how do we help first responders and public servants get health and wellness back into their programming. And then when he was appointed to the director role, the director of public safety, he came to Debbie and said, hey, we want to do this program with, I want to do an event with the State Highway Patrol Academy. I'll let you kind of fill in.
So Andy's very knowledgeable in the fact that the number one cause of death for first responders is suicide. And so he knows that a lot of that comes out of the isolation that we all suffered from with COVID, but especially our first responders. And he knows the community that CrossFit can bring to someone who is in that isolation state. And so the goal is to bring that community to all of our first responders. So we started with kind of a pilot program, if you will, and we did a MRF with the State Highway Patrol Academy cadet class. So we, a couple months before MRF, we started going down to Columbus a couple times a week to train the cadets and kind of get them ready for MRF. They already did, day-to-day training, but we were working on mostly pull-ups. That was the thing that they needed the most. And then the Friday before Memorial Day, we went to Rogue, and we had about 50 cadets and staff members from State Highway Patrol that did MRF together in an epic event.
It was really fun.
And originally the goal was going to be to make it an annual event, bring first responders together. We had all these great ideas. And afterwards in our review, we quickly realized we really can't do that on Memorial Day weekend for first responders because they're so busy. So we began to look at alternatives. We talked about Veterans Day, but we didn't want to take any attention away from veterans by bringing, attention to the first responders. And so 9/11 became the perfect fit. And so Monday, the 9/11 climb will be the first annual event that will be coordinated between the Department of Public Safety and CrossFit affiliates throughout the state.
Yeah. So the goal there is the climb event. There is an activity that's happening in Columbus at 7 a.m. on Monday, but that's a closed event. So that's that's invite only, and there's a specific reason for that. The cadets, the State Highway Patrol cadets, there'll be few first responders there. But what Andy wanted and what the Public Safety Department wanted is they wanted first responders to develop a relationship with their local CrossFit affiliate that says, hey, we'd love to have you here in Ohio or in Columbus, but we really want you to develop a relationship with a CrossFit affiliate that's close to you. So let's drive them to the affiliate and see if the affiliate will allow them to come in for a day, for an hour, do this workout, and get a view of what CrossFit's really like. And maybe you'll be able to develop a relationship with the fire chief, the police chief. This is open to fire, police, EMS, first dispatchers, yeah, fire, police, EMS dispatchers, and any federal employees. So there's a lot of federal marshals in the state of Ohio. So the goal was how many people can we push to the affiliates? That's where the impact's made. We're offering the classes, all of our classes that day. We'll do this workout. It's free. Anyone can come. And we're hoping that other affiliates in the state will say, hey, this is an opportunity. I can take this flyer. I can go knock on the doors of my fire chief or police chief and say, hey, you got this information too. We'd love to invite you in for a free workout. We're going to do this workout. Here's the timing. Here's our class times. You don't have to have anything special. Just do your normal class. And if you want to do this workout, please do the workout.
I want to say, like, to get this logo on anything CrossFit is a huge accomplishment. They are very particular about what that logo goes on.
Yeah. And if you
That's
scroll down, there's a direct link. So you've got, what it is, and it talks about what the workout is. And then if you scroll down to,
What is it?
ways to participate. So the live thing there at 7 a.m. So the Ohio channel is going to stream this live at 7. And at 7, there's going to kick off some speakers. So there'll be Director Wilson will speak. There'll be some dignitaries speak and kind of, set the tone for the workout. And that will be videoed and broadcasted live across Ohio. And then that video link will live throughout the day. So if you're an affiliate and you're holding your 4:30 p.m. class, and you've got first responders in there, you can go to the link, click it, listen to the speakers. It's 15 minutes. Listen to the speakers, and then take off and run your class. And then if you scroll down where to participate, so you've got ways to participate. You can watch it live or click the link, and then where to participate. The very first line, local CrossFit affiliate. And oh, by the way, here's the affiliate map. If you click here, it goes right to CrossFit.com affiliate map. So, for a state to say, hey, we're going to promote first responders, that's great. But we're also going to promote a private business that has multiple outlets across the state of Ohio. That's unheard of. And here we have it.
Yeah.
And they want to do this annually. This is the first event, and they threw it together really, really quickly. I know we're working on a very short time frame here, but this is just the start to what they want to build from year to year. And they want CrossFit and our affiliates in the state of Ohio to be lockstep with them the whole way through, which is, to me, it's, as an affiliate owner, like, we've been begging for this type of attention or this ability to bring first responders in our door. And here we have it,
So there's been a lot of chat in the chat about what the workout is.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to just highlight that real quick.
Yeah.
And it is an AMRAP of 41 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yep.
Representing the 412 first responders who lost their lives on 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100 stairs or steps.
Yep.
20 burpees, 30 sit-ups, 40 lunges or air squats.
Yeah. So quick breakdown of that. Yeah. So quick breakdown of that, and the video explanation is there. You don't need to click on it, but we're going to do it in a stadium. There will be a lot of first responders that will do it in the firehouse, so they may have a step to step up and down. If we're an affiliate, the 100 stairs, the time it takes to do 100 stairs, 50 up and 50 down, is about the time it takes to do 20 box step ups. And the way that workout is laid out is this: you're doing it as a partner. So you're going to partner this. You're going to do 20. If you're in an affiliate, you're going to do 20 box step ups together at the same time. And then you're going to share the 20 burpees, share the 30 sit-ups, share the 40 lunges. If you can't do lunges, you can do air squats. So you're climbing together, or you're stepping up on the box together in unison, if you will. And then you're sharing the burpees, the sit-ups, and the lunges. Mm-hmm. And the workout there's been a lot of people that had input into the workout. Of course, CrossFit, Don and the group, they're well aware of what's going on here. So is Dave. Craig Howard at Diablo CrossFit, his trainer, his head coach, Jamie Lee, had a piece in it like, hey, what about this part? Let's throw this in there. And then Rich Froning and the team at Mayhem. And that's kind of who we're partnering with for a juvenile probation program going forward, is Mayhem Nation. But Rich and the group said, okay, hey, let's take what you guys have already put together and let's add this to it. And that's where we have this workout. So it was really a brainstorm of a lot smarter people than me.
And then our guinea pigs, some of our poor coaches.
Yeah, our coaches.
I kept texting them, okay, do this one. And they're like, we just died. Okay, now do this one.
Yeah.
So they've been through about 10 different workouts to prepare for this.
Yeah.
And just to answer a couple questions, does the affiliate map show only gyms doing the event, or all gyms?
No.
All gyms.
So that flyer that you're looking at right now was sent out from the Department of Public Safety to every public service worker. So all your police, all the offices that Matt named already. So it came from the governor's office down. Then we emailed it to every LOR email address on file that we could find with CrossFit.
Yeah.
So we probably missed a few, and there's probably a ton of affiliate owners who it's sitting in their inbox. They just don't open it. So check your inbox. If you're a CrossFitter right here and you're not the LOR, go ask your affiliate owner to check their inbox. I promise you it's in there. And then we held an informational Zoom meeting to explain it. And then we have a list. So you notice you can click and it takes you to the general map. It has every affiliate, in Ohio that you can find in there. But also the info at CrossFit Crave, that's one of the email addresses we use, where we have a list of all of the gyms who have contacted us that they are participating. I'm sure there are more who are participating who haven't told us, but if we have a firefighter in Columbus who emails us and says, hey, where can I go? Then we have our list to send them to.
Yep. I see Jeffrey's got a great question there, not weighted, and we don't have it listed as weighted. We have some of our own athletes in some of our neighboring counties. They're probably going to wear their turnout gear every year. When we do a 9/11 workout, they show up in their full turnout. My guess is they'll put their turnout gear on. And I think we'll see a lot of that probably in Columbus with some of the individuals that are invited from the different police forces. They'll have their vests on and that type of thing, but it doesn't have to be weighted. The goal here was to figure out something with modifications that a first responder could bring his or her grandmother to the event and get through it in pure CrossFit fashion, right? And that's why the goal was to drive everyone to an affiliate where they could be coached, they could be walked through the workout, and get that, community feel.
You got any questions, Jamie?
No, this is awesome. I mean, it gives me a little bit of a Mark Moss uplift vibe. But yeah, this is so cool.
So at the go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Nope.
Just at the very top of it, I think there's a hashtag. And the one thing that we're asking everybody to do is take tons of pictures and use the hashtag ODPS climb, I think is what it is.
Yeah, right at the very top there.
And that's gonna be huge for both the CrossFit community and the Department of Public Safety community. Again, this is gonna be an annual event. So the more pictures we have now, the more we have to pull from to advertise it for next year. And it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. But think of the PR that this can bring to the CrossFit world when you've got your first responders working out with their grandma, like Matt said, in this memorial workout. It's huge.
Jay Birch comes in with, I like the box step up versus stair step adjustment.
Yeah.
Kudos to that. I can't thank you guys enough. What you guys are doing in Ohio is so impressive. And we do need to do a follow-up talk with you that we take a full hour plus over that and not rush you. But I wanted to make sure we got you on tonight before this event happened so it can get out there. And people, I love that you have the at-home version. If you just want to do it with your family, take pictures and hashtag. Right. It's awesome. I love it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thanks for getting us on.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us. We really appreciate it, man. I love what you guys are doing too. And it's always, I'm watching Instagram. There he is. Look.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride, man. And I'd love to catch up with you. And I know I've said it a couple times, but I do have some slow time here this fall.
Sure.
We'll get a meeting together. We'll all four.
Did I just lose internet?
And kind of and get together and do all of that.
Cool.
And really get in depth with what you're doing up there at Crave.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thanks, guys.
One of those terms you make.
So cool.
Love it, Jeff. Thanks, brother. Hey, see you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
We'll talk soon, Matt.
Okay.
There we go. I am not fast at that, getting guests out. I love that Jay Birch is going to do it in Texas. I'd love to expand to different states. I know they've been working in Illinois. I know they've been working in Arizona. And so hopefully these programs start getting to other states as well.
Yeah, it's like the perfect workout, I think. Most people do Chad, which I think they someone commented on earlier, the 1,000 step ups. And this still gives you your step ups, especially if you want to put on your vest or anything. But definitely not going to leave you quite as wrecked. I like that you have that partner. Yeah, really good workout. Way more approachable.
A little bit of everything, but a barbell.
Yeah.
So Kenneth says, might do it Monday, boots and utes. We'll see.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah, take pictures.
Yeah.
Tag us too. We'd love to see them. We can share them next week.
Definitely.
So speaking of Chad, that's the newest named hero workout. Official CrossFit. It was announced this week.
Okay.
That is now an official hero workout with CrossFit. It's been done
I
for a
thought-
couple years.
Yeah.
I think the story goes that it's actually someone that Dave Castro knew, and he started doing it in memory of his friend. And then the community just latched onto it, and it became a thing, but it never was officially adopted by CrossFit as an official hero WOD. And that just happened this week.
Interesting. Yeah, I think they've already stated that it's going to be the 9/11 hero WOD, like moving forward.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's really cool. So I guess there's a lot of named workouts that like different gyms do and stuff, and they get adopted by a lot of people, but they may not necessarily be an official CrossFit sanctioned hero WOD. I know that it has to go through an approval process with them. Jay Birch is asking, can I share the workout again with Hedgie? Yes, I'm actually going to try to put out that flyer as a whole on IG to share so everybody can see it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll blow up the workout and put that on a separate slide on that same post. How's that sound?
Perfect.
So crazy week here in the CrossFit world.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm texting you a lot this week.
Yeah.
And it all started with some tea with our friend Jeff Adler and Roman Kronikov. And so Jamie's frozen for a second, so I'm just going to keep talking. We've talked about it on other shows. I'm gonna recap it a little bit here. There were allegations that Jeff Adler was trash talking, and it made physical contact with Roman during the 5K. Roman made a post about it. I don't really want to get into all the nuts and bolts of it again. It's been talked about so much this week. I want to answer a couple of things that came through about my riff about it, and just kind of comment on. Someone asked me, because of my close relationship with Jeff Adler, was that the reason that I made the statements I made?
Yeah.
And my answer to it is kind of twofold. One, if I have a close relationship with Jeff Adler, I have a close relationship with a lot of people then, because it's not like Jeff and I hang out or anything. We speak when we see each other. He's been on the show a bunch of times. I just believed in him this year as an athlete because of what he was doing, the way he worked himself up the leaderboard over the last few years. It was not about that we were chummy and friendly. We were friendly, but I'm friendly with a lot of athletes who I've had on the show, and no different there than somebody else. So that to answer that part of the question. Two, I always take, when I do my riffs, I always take 24 hours to kind of let it marinate And so that I'm not just reacting to what I see, but I'm actually thoughtful in my riff to the best of my ability, so that I'm not just blowing up people, because I can have a little bit of and Jamie's been around, like there's been times where I get like really miffed right as a thing happens, and my take on it changes 12 hours later. And so I'm very careful not to just openly react to something. And so that's what I just want to say about that. Elise is saying she doesn't want to get my heart rate up again, about just playing devil's advocate. Elise, I think she's referring to this. I thought we were done talking about this. I really want to be done talking about it, because I think when Roman spoke on Savon's podcast, I didn't get anything more out of that than I had going in, other than that the touching incident was in fact when Jeff lifted his hands to encourage the crowd, and that Jeff learned a little bit of Russian to make the trash talking more effective. Those are the two things I learned. But anyway, I digress. I don't think it added much to the story. My riff stands. I did not change my take on it at all after I heard that. And I'm still confused why it all happened. I still don't
why he made the post.
Right.
Agreed. Like, I'm surprised more people aren't a little bit more on Jeff's side in the fact that, like, Roman didn't give us, like, if you're going to make a post like that, if you're going to call somebody out, like, I was like waiting for something else, right? Like there's got to be, he did something specific and like hardcore, like really actually was unsportsmanlike. And that just didn't like come through. So it's like, what exactly were you feeling offended about? And I just think we're all a little bit confused. And it totally could be a cultural translation thing, feelings, but like, most people in this space, your feelings don't matter. And that's kind of been the general thing behind CrossFit. And we're not, we don't take that route. Like, that's got to go to play in the backside. So like, I don't know why we're supporting. And I saw, like, if it was girls, people would be like totally behind them. I disagree with that too. Like, either give me a specific instance that like, he tripped you or tied your shoes together or like specifically did something on sports and like took some, like, then we may have something to talk about. But like trash talking or getting in your head, like, just, I don't know, don't let it get in your head.
Here's the piece that I really, that angers me when I think about it, and I just can't get over. When I was an athlete, I wasn't the most talented athlete on the field, in the pool, whatever. It took a hell of a lot of work for me to get to where I was. And I think that's why I backed Jeff so much in this last year, because I see a lot of that in him. I don't think he's the most naturally gifted athlete on the floor. I think that he has busted his ass for 5 years to get to where he's at. And the fact that he wins the championship and everybody is shitting on him because Roman would have won if he didn't get hurt. And now Roman comes out with this stuff saying that he's a dirty player. Like, dude has busted his ass for 5 years. Yeah. Let him have his championship and let's freaking move on.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the shitting on Jeff. That's where I get upset. And when this came out Monday night, like, I was texting you so hard, my thumbs were hurting.
Yeah, not very Spirit of the Games like,
No, not at all. And I feel like because I can relate, like, to get anywhere in that, in any sport I participated. Hell, in this podcast, like, I started this podcast, nobody knew who the hell I was at all. And I'm going up against the Savons and the Talking Elite Fitnesses, who have been around for 10 years, right? It takes hard work to start climbing that mountain. And for people to shit on you when you start getting up there really, really bends me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was really upset Monday night. And I told myself, take 24 hours before you do this riff, or it's probably going to have language in it that my mother would not approve of.
Yeah.
So that is that is kind of the end of it.
Yeah.
Let's leave it there and let's just move on.
Yep. Totally.
Because that's really all I want. I just wanted to clarify some of the comments. And there were people that came at my riff on YouTube that said they disagreed, and that's fine. So that's good.
Yeah.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about was Rogue, and that the Rogue qualifier leaderboard looks like it has been finalized.
Yep.
I posted I made a post this morning on Instagram that it looks like it's been finalized. I got a question about why did they include people who didn't complete all the qualifying events? And I think that is a misnomer. I responded to it on IG, but I don't know if anybody saw it. I believe the reason there are vacant scores on the leaderboard are because those are the events that people got marked invalid, and their scores went to 0.
Like Sydney's
Correct.
workout where she didn't. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I confirmed that hers had all of her other 4 scores on there, and that 5th score is missing.
Yep.
So that's what made me feel like it was legitly done.
Right.
So Kenneth makes a comment that only 5 spots from the queue frustrates me a lot. It doesn't frustrate me. I watched Shut Up and Scribble today.
Me
the
too.
only thing I can say I really got out of that I truly agree with is the fact that none of this, and this was my other riff from this week. Nothing is written down, so it's hard to even know what the rules of the game are. Like, should you even try? Like, if you have a shot at a backfill from the games, should you even try the queue?
Yeah. So, and that's where I feel like I felt, I don't know if JR was pushing more that way. Taylor seemed kind of iffy on which way, but I feel like a backfill should come from the queue. Definitely not the games. And I mean, it's hard to say they didn't earn their spot from the games. Well, like, the events and the order of events, and like we saw, like, matter, and to use that to get you, like, the queue. If you're a comp, you should program your qualifier to best test for your event. I mean, that would be how I would do it if I was going to run a comp, so that I knew I was getting the people that are things I want to test. So, and they spoke about this a little bit on Shut Up Scribble, like, people who maybe are 20 to 30 at the games, but do the queue and get in, crush Rogue. Well, then maybe your queue is a little bit more applicable to your placings and probably should have the backfills. And maybe it's 10 or 12. Maybe they find a good number of game spots and let people know, like, a base number. I think 15 is a bit much personally, because if those people truly are that good, do the qualifier like everyone else always has to. Like, make people start doing the qualifiers, or don't do for me, it's like a do qualifier or do invites. It's frustrating to see all the invites come all the time. Like, do the qualifier, show that you're good enough to be there, and get there and go do it.
Yeah, I none of that really matters to me too much. I don't really care how they do it. I think Rogue is special and it's different. The fact that others are going to the invitation style now upsets me more than whatever Rogue is doing, because I think Rogue is between a rock and a hard place. They're a showcase. They're just trying to make a really cool event, and it happens so quickly after the games that the qualifier is not fair to those people who just gave their heart and soul at the games. So
we just want another replica of the games?
are you going to let me finish?
Yes, go ahead.
No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, like when you confront me, I think it's better show that way. I don't want a replica of the games, but that's what I mean. They're between a rock and a hard place. Where they sit in the season is just tough to get a qualifier in with quality. So I don't really care how they do it. If they said, like, let's go 10 from the queue, 10 from the games, I'd be okay with that. I don't care how they backfill. I don't care if they send out invites to whatever. As an athlete, I would be frustrated because I'd want to know, how do I have to play the game to give myself the best shot? That's all I mean about what Elise is saying here.
Yeah.
It's an invitation, which means they can do whatever they want. Don't let it get you frustrated. I'm not frustrated about it, but if I were an athlete, just tell me how I have to play the game so I have the best shot to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's all I want to know.
Which people will tell you, just be good enough. Be good enough to go to the games, place high at the games, and go. And that's just like a constant thing. Okay, the top 15 mouths just keep getting fed.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's one of the few things in CrossFit I'm indifferent about. But I can feel how an athlete would be. Just tell me how.
Yeah.
Just tell me. That's all. And I don't mind that it's combined with strongman. Growing up, I was a huge strongman fan. I didn't know in the 80s, I didn't know what CrossFit was. I watched all the strongman competitions. And the first year Rogue was in Texas, I volunteered on their documentary team, which we were focusing mainly on the strongmen. Those men are giants.
Mm-hmm.
I felt small for the first time in my life. And that makes me feel good. So there.
Yeah.
There's a long couple things. Okay, so let me read. Kenneth said that he wants 40 people. I think that's too much for Rogue for the style that they're putting on. Too many people means more heats and more time. And I think Jay Birch that is the correct answer to that, Jay Birch. On one hand, the queue shows people who will probably do well at Rogue, but if someone does well at the games, why should they have to turn around and do the hard queue workouts when they may still be in a break? Like Ross and Rachel were in a break, and you saw what happened there. Yes, the Von Magnuson days were awesome, Kenneth. And Jaber says, were you there? I've been to Rogue 3 times. 3 times. Yes. Once in Columbus, once as a judge for an athlete during the COVID year when it was all online and they broadcast it live around the world at whatever time. And I went once in Austin. Last year was the first year I missed it. Yes, I agree, Elise. When it was in Columbus, it was much easier to go to. And it was nice. My wife Ubered me and Amy down and dropped us off and picked us up. So it was nice.
Yeah, I was planning on going when it was like that last year that it was in Columbus. I was like, oh, I'm going to go next year. And then it moved. And I was like, oh, man, probably never going to make that.
Yeah. And Jay Birch, damn, I missed you. I've been there every year in Texas. I was actually most of the time on the floor or in the third base dugout, Jay Birch. So you probably wouldn't have seen me anyway, because I was a production assistant for the cameraman for the documentary. Just basically all that means is carrying his water and batteries and memory cards. And Jay Birch, that's only 15 minutes from your house.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when it was in Columbus, it was only 15 minutes from my house. And it was only like 2 minutes from where I worked. Rogue headquarters is only 2 minutes from my old office building. Dangerous lunch break. Dangerous lunch break.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to really talk about, and we went off on something else, which is fine, is with all of the shakeup with this online competition, right? The queue. We wait, they freeze the leaderboard, it comes back, and like very few people that were in the top 5 are in the top 5 anymore. What does that say about us doing so many online qualifiers, online comps, online quarterfinals, online semifinals for masters? If the one entity that takes the standards seriously shakes it up so much, how bad are the other ones that they're not really taking the standards seriously? And
It's bad.
we're probably not getting the right people to the end result.
Mm-hmm.
And having been embedded with 2 masters athletes this year through the season and watching it play out, I truly, truly believe we didn't have the right 10 people at the games in the masters divisions. I think your top 3 or 4 probably would be the same if it was done in person or at the game or online. But that 5 through 10, I question. You look at Chelsea Nicholas, who came into the game as a backfill in your division at 11, got bumped up to 10 because of someone going team, and was winning the event until she blew out her Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
That says volumes as to where we are. Then you look at this rogue qualifier where they are meticulous about the standards, and there are 5 billion of them, and they are meticulous about it, and it shakes up the leaderboard so bad. And some of your traditional known offenders get moved way down the leaderboard. I think it speaks volumes to the quality of our online qualifiers.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have
Yeah.
feelings. Please share.
Oh, I've said it. I think leaderboards need to be public. I think the risk of public shaming, like a video out there and people seeing like egregious reps, like, is kind of the only way to get some people to move better. And until there's harsher penalties placed, or like people actually get major penalties or invalid scores, like getting these workouts invalidated by not showing a measurement, or last year not showing your plates, like people will learn to start doing better a job of videoing and making sure they hit standards, to make sure they get through if it's important to them. But that doesn't seem to happen in the CrossFit tier system. It's just not that in depth. And the videos are never public. Where are we able to review any of those?
Right. Someday. So I've done online video review for comps. The way that structure works is mind-boggling to me, and I've been in it. I think there needs to be a better system. You have so many people willing to do it, so many judges who have been around the game for so long that are willing to sit there and go through that. And many times in my past, their opinions have been ignored when it comes to the final calls. And so I think what has happened over time is that group has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. And then now you have overworked judges, and even if they're trying to do it right, now it's just an impossible task.
Yeah.
But when you had the volume of judges doing it, you ignored their recommendations.
Yeah.
And now you're getting what you need to do the job you need to do. That's probably going to get me a DM or two, but that's my firm belief. So I think we've beat that horse to death.
Yeah.
Let's move to Madrid. Did you get to watch any of Madrid today?
I have not.
Okay. So I watched the top heats of all the events, a little bit of team. I think I'm really coming to the conclusion that I would forego team to have age group and adaptive at the games instead of team. It is so freaking hard to watch. So hard. 4-person muscle ups, and they're all going 10 heats, and you have 40 people on the rig at one time. Was so hard. And then they did 4 in a line snatches.
Oh, wow. Did they have to be synchro?
Yeah. So synchro at the top.
Okay.
So it was green plates, yellow plates, blue plates, red plates.
Okay.
Snatches, which was kind of a cool look that
Yeah.
they did it that way. Like, it just had the color to it. But it was, again, you get more than a couple people. It was the last movement of the team workout. The first couple teams that got there, it was cool to watch. The minute more teams showed up, it got impossible to watch.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bad workout. I think it's just the space just doesn't allow it to be viewable.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a couple things I wanted to bring up. First of all, the fact that they did 2 different coverage. They did an English version and a Spanish version.
Okay.
Okay. The Spanish version was put on DAZN, which is actually a very famous fight channel.
Okay.
Like boxing and UFC and different things like that, which was really cool. And then the English version was on YouTube. I thought the coverage was good. I think the camera work was similar to everything we've seen in the past. They did try a little more wide shot, I think. And then the audio, they were having some issues. When I first tuned in, I couldn't hear the announcers at all. And then there were times where then they got that cleaned up, and then they blocked out the floor noise, and then occasionally it would get piped back in. And when the floor noise and the music and everything got piped in, you couldn't hear the announcers at all.
Mm-hmm.
But they accidentally piped it in over commercials, which I'm sure their sponsors and advertisers were not happy about. So it wasn't even just during the coverage. It is Thursday there as well, and the crowds were not big. So I'm hoping by the time they get to the weekend, it's better. On the women's side, Elena Caratala, and she has another name.
Sanahua.
Freaking watch out for her. I mean, she's coming against some really good competition. She looks really good. Karen Freyova looks freaking awesome, which she always does in the off season. But she had her best finish at the games ever this year. So she's just backing that up with really solid performance on the first 2 events. But Victoria Campos and Jacqueline Dahlstrom, man, what's going on? So I actually have the leaderboard. We can pull it up and talk about it real quick. I don't know which one I have up first here. But there we have the men. You can kind of see the top so many.
Yeah.
What I love is I put out a poll, asking who would win the Madrid championships. It pretty much was between Lazar and Travis.
Mm-hmm.
And Yona got a little bit of love, and that's it. Dude finished 6th at the games.
Yeah.
No love in the poll, and is winning he actually had a win and I think like a 4th place today, doing amazingly well.
So just 2 events today?
Just 2. Yeah. It's
Is
like
it
2
6
today,
events total?
1. It's 7. 2, 1,
Okay.
2.
Okay. So 1 event, or what is it? Something really long or something? Do we know what it is?
I don't. I apologize.
What did they do today? You scroll up. Mad beginning and lifting test.
It just says lifting test, so nothing has
Okay.
been revealed. But anyway, yeah. I will tell you, Colin Bosshard, which I know we've talked about leading up to the games, he did not qualify. He's coming too. Like,
Yeah.
I've got my eye on that dude for next season.
He's like a yellow.
Yeah. Yeah. He has been in the lead in both events already. So
good for him.
Elise is saying they did that at Waza too, right? 1 did dumbbell, 1 did kettlebell, 1 did barbell. That is correct. But this was we're all barbell. They just were all different colors. So it had this cool look as it was going. Maybe I'm just a simpleton, but that's what I just thought it was a cool look.
Yeah.
And Kenneth says I went with Koski and Greer.
Where's Greer at? Let's see the girls. Okay.
We will. But Alex Katulis is at 8. Who was the big surprise? I thought there was a surprise on the men, but maybe there wasn't.
Yorgis is 6th.
Yeah. So no big surprise really on the men. I thought Travis would be higher, but that second event really hurt him. Which was they don't even wow. So it was GHDs. It was GHDs, pistols. There were handstand push-ups deficit, and a bike, and then you had to come back down.
Doesn't seem like it would be a bad event for him.
No.
Was he 10th?
He seemed to just gas out, is what it seemed like, on the way back down. The bike took out a lot of people. So Holly says they have all of the workouts on Instagram, and I did look at them. I can't remember them, and I watched all the stuff today. The first workout was high box jump overs, like 42-36. And that's how you started. And then it was sandball squats.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. It was I think there was a lift in there, and then it was chest to bar. Maybe. I don't know. I'm probably mixing it all up now. I am because the second event was chest to bar and snatches, and the snatches get heavier as you go.
Okay.
And then the first event was all that other stuff I mentioned.
Okay.
With box overs. And
he got 4th in that, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it was the snatch chest to bar. He did not.
Okay.
And really what it came down to is who could move the barbell at its heaviest. And that's where like Karen Freyova did amazing. But yeah, so we'll go to the women since I keep talking about them. We have Karen Freyova in first, Elena Karatala Sanahua. Andrea Solberg is in third, Annika Greer in 4th.
Nice.
got her 6th. And this is where the surprises are. Jacqueline Dahlstrom in 13th and Victoria Campos 29th.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many people are here? 30 or 40?
35. But I think they tried to get 40. Like
Right.
on the men's side, Adrian Munweiler could not get there.
Okay. I'll have
So
to
yeah.
try to watch some tomorrow.
Yeah, the coverage isn't bad. Yeah, it was watchable. I don't think the workouts were super exciting from a spectator's point of view, and maybe why they went today on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
With those when they knew the crowds weren't going to be as big, and as they go into the weekend, I think the tests will get a little more exciting.
Well, I'll keep watching for Travis. I don't think he's getting old. He's in his prime.
Yeah, I love Travis. Travis is one of my favorite CrossFitters of all time. I probably like him more than Jeff Adler, just so you know. But he's never gonna be a top 5 games athlete.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Yes, aging like a fine wine. Correct.
This question, random question: can West ever end up paying out last year? Wasn't there some controversy for a while? You mean Can West?
Yeah, Can West. Yeah, I don't think they did it. Mm-mm.
In fact, I know they didn't.
Yeah.
The athletes I'm actually friends with still have not been paid.
Yeah, not good at all.
Andrea Solberg. With that heavy snatch, that's not a bad finish place for her. 3rd.
That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, she looked good today.
Wat Zombie will forgive you.
Yeah, she looked like when she got to that heavy snatch, it was very methodical. She definitely like slowed down and kind of got better. It was more about like smooth and steady wins the race, and she did really well at the end.
Do you know what it went up to?
They were. I don't know. I know on the men's side, I think it was 185.
Okay.
Maybe 195. I think that it was red plates. So.
Well, that'd be 155.
And a yellow. No, they were blue and yellow. So that would have been blue and yellow. I don't
205.
I don't know. I have a lot on my mind tonight.
That sounds about right. Annika did not win that event. Karen Freyova won it. Ken.
And Elena Caratala won the first event. So Annika took a 7th and a 2nd. Nick says that he has always been a Turi fan. Hopefully this gets her back in the game.
Holly, I can't math that.
I know. I just look at the colors and then translate it by colors. But it was at least 185 for the men on that final bar.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. 185 and.
So would that be 135 for women?
I think that's more. I think that's more. 65, I think, is more than 135.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Really good for Andrea because strength has always been her downfall. Gymnastic stuff, you knew she was going to kill.
Mm-hmm.
So that is that. Last thing is team is I believe that Los Niños, which is Chandler, Noah, Sydney, and Elena Rector. They are in first, but they have not won an event yet.
Don't need to win.
No, but I think everybody thought they would,
Yeah.
right, coming in. But there's some good teams. Holly did the math for you.
Yep, perfect. That sounds about right. That's on the heavy side for the women compared to the men. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Were the men's times faster?
The winner was 7:37. The women's was 8:23. So almost a full minute.
Yeah, sounds about right. I don't know why they keep trying to keep pushing the women's weights up. That they think like it works for 5-10 people, and then the women's field just isn't quite there. I don't feel like, and they just keep pushing this heavy. Whatever, you do you.
So
You just broke up on me.
I said, let's move on to Andre Houdet.
Okay.
Call it a career.
Yeah, that's sad. Is he just going to coach?
Just gonna coach. I think what's funny is like when we talked to him last offseason, he said he was going to go team to take some time to develop some of the skills he needed to develop to then come back and attack the individual.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought he could put together a very competitive team.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't think he realized at that moment was how good of a coach he was.
Yeah.
When you look at the performance his athletes had at the games, they did phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that probably gave him some juice to put his energy into that. And maybe he enjoyed that aspect of it more than actually competing.
I must have. That's crazy. I mean, if it's not in your heart, he's obviously a phenomenal coach. He moves so well himself, so lucky for his athletes.
For a taller athlete, just range of motion, he has to make up so much ground.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, gosh, another one of my favorites. Always like talking to him. He is so smart. And I think that it just lends itself to him being maybe the next big European coach.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting journey to watch.
Yeah. So that he has like Heinrich, right? And
yep. Who was this girl?
Well, Manananganese for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I think he has another one too, but I don't want to misquote his roster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was super sad to see him call it a day. I think he's a hell of a guy, but I wish him all the best because I think he is going to be a great coach, and it's going to be fun kind of seeing how that translates over the next few years.
Does he own that affiliate, No Shortcuts?
So last I knew that was his garage.
Oh, okay.
So maybe he's built it out. Maybe they've made it bigger. I think that was in the plans.
Okay.
So I'm guessing he's probably going to put together a building, but I know Manon doesn't come to him like it's a remote thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know Heinrich is in Finland, so that but maybe we'll see where it goes. Maybe that's what he wants to put his energy and time into. Maybe he does build a facility or something.
Yeah.
So next thing on the docket is Legends qualifiers. Where are we at with that?
We should probably talk about that next week. I'm done, but it goes till Sunday night.
Well, that's fine. How did you do?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, it's like probably pointless to talk about till we can even see anything. I have no idea.
You feel you did well?
No. No, I don't think they were great.
Okay. You think you'll make it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll make it.
Okay. That's exciting stuff.
I mean, you saw some of my workouts. Do you think I did good?
I think some of them were good.
Okay.
I think the ones that didn't have a heavy snatch in it were good.
Jeff will hopefully find out Sunday night, and we can bring up the leaderboard on next Thursday and hopefully have some good news to share. Elise
did not make it. How do you know they haven't released the results yet, Elise? Let's go back to this first. Nick says, I just missed this part, but where's Travis on the leaderboard? Travis will answer that for you. He is 7th place. He had a good first event, shaky second event. But he is not top 5, just to let you know. Ronica says that you crushed it.
No, she's saying Ronica hit a lot of ring muscle ups today. It was amazing. So we're hoping she sneaks in. And Jim did really good. He PR'd his snatch twice today. He's got to be top 8, I believe, to make it. I think he had some good scores, so I think he's going to be good.
Well, because of this, ACR is my new hero.
I know. I saw that.
Because anybody who would do 365 burpees and only take 1.5 minute rest in between the hundreds, my goodness. And the first 200s, she almost did identical times. Yeah, that is not this guy. My first 100 would be 27 minutes. My second 100 would be 43 minutes. But yeah. And then I think she finally slowed down on the third 100. And then she said, then she saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And they picked up again. Well, you're a CrossFitter. That's what CrossFitters do.
That's true.
Think our game plan all day. And then 2 minutes into the workout, I throw it away. Yeah. So back here a little ways, our friend Kenneth asked this question. Scott, were you a fan of the Invitational, the Team USA versus the World Days, etc.? Well, hopefully you meant Scott and Jamie, because I'd like her take on it as well. Yes, I was a huge fan.
I was as well.
Because it all happened in one day. We would actually make a party of it. My friends would come over. We'd throw it up on the big screen, do some barbecue or something, and sit and watch it for the few hours that it was on, start to finish. I loved it. It was, for us, it was more than just watching CrossFit on TV. It was a party. And you're rooting for your country, right? So it made it super cool. And I hope they bring it back let me put it, I want it to come back, but I want it to come back if everybody's going to participate.
Yes.
right? If like it comes up and Jeff is like, well, I just won and I need some time off, so I'm not going to participate. And then Pat says, well, I want to get ready for Rogue, so I'm not going to participate. And then the top Americans say they're not going to participate. Well, then it's not fun anymore. Like the reason they were great is because the best of the best were always there, except for the year they screwed over Fraser. So that's my caveat to that.
They have talked about bringing it back, haven't they?
There was rumor, but there's been shakeup since the rumor. So Justin Berg talked about it coming back. Last I checked, he no longer receives a paycheck from CrossFit.
Yeah.
So
it's probably not in the budget.
So yeah, I loved him, but I want it back in that format where the best of the best are there.
Agreed.
If the best of the best aren't there, I think it would lack the same feel. It's like the Pro Bowl in the NFL. When all the good people went, it was great fun to watch. And then as time went by, 17 people withdrew from it. And now you've got like the third string tackle from the Steelers on the team. Is that really that fun to watch?
Yeah.
So can I link the leaderboard I had up? Man, Nick,
they can't find. Yeah, they're saying they can't find the Madrid leaderboard.
So here are the secrets to finding the online leaderboard. If you can't even, wow, I don't even think that went to YouTube.
Yeah, it did. I see it.
Oh, I see there.
Twitch.
Yeah, so this is our first ever Twitch broadcast, just so you know.
Woo!
Yeah, we're live on Twitch now.
Sorry, that was probably loud.
It's okay. So here's the key. If you ever need to find leaderboards for these off-season comps, I'm giving away my secrets, right? So if you go to the Madrid Championship website and you click on the link to the leaderboard, it takes you to the qualifier. Doesn't even take you to the real leaderboard. You just find out who is running the leaderboard for that team. And for this, it's Competition Corner. You go to Competition Corner, you search for Madrid. It'll tell you all the events being held in Madrid, and then you find the actual event, click on it, and it takes you to the live leaderboard. But the stuff that Madrid has put out is actually a link to their qualifier and not to the actual event leaderboard. So the secrets of a researcher. And now that Bruce is here, it's time to go.
Yeah. I don't think Carolyn's going to make it, huh?
No. So the last thing we had on the agenda was there's also another comp going on this weekend, the Northern California Classic or NorCal Classic. Carolyn Prevost is competing in that. We had a link to her if she could get out. But as we were on the air, they were doing athlete briefing, announcing workouts, all registration, all the stuff. Knew it was a Hail Mary that she'd get out for a couple minutes to be able to jump on. But well, maybe I have to have her on next week to find out how it went. It's always fun having her on. So, but there's some games athletes competing at the NorCal Classic. So that's going to be a good competition too in Northern California. Jamie competed in that a few years ago during the COVID year. So she's actually been out there to do that.
That's my first time winning money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Kenneth asks if it's associated with NorCal Fitness. I don't think it is. I think it's just a competition in Northern California, and everybody there just calls Northern California NorCal.
When I did it, it was at, I want to say it's Anywhere Fit CrossFit.
Okay.
Pretty sure that was the name of the gym, Anywhere Fit.
Okay. So yeah, it's not associated with NorCal at all.
No,
But
it's not.
it's a big competition, and there are some big names out there. Some of the semifinalists that we met during the season, plus a couple games athletes. So we'll have to check in on that, see what's going on out there. If I don't sleep through the weekend, we'll have some stuff for that early next week. Typically, I would have Jamie come on all weekend and we talk about the Madrid results. I just don't know where I'm going to be conscious wise after surgery tomorrow. So yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I can text you and we can do a recap show if I feel better later in the weekend.
Yeah.
But not sure. Just don't want to commit to anything till I know.
I'm excited for you. I hope you finally get feeling better.
Yeah, me too. I felt good at the games because of the steroids and the antibiotics, but I still wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
Like the minute I lay down, all the drainage was going right to my throat, like it's doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And yeah, we're not talking about Roman anymore. We finished that a while ago. I think we're done. You got anything going on this weekend?
I have a wedding tomorrow.
Okay.
And then Lucas is supposed to have a tennis tournament quad Saturday morning, 8:30 in the morning. So that'll probably go to 4 in the afternoon if he plays. He was supposed to be fourth singles today. I don't know they got rained out, so I don't know if he's gonna still hold that position and play or not. Waiting to hear. Hopefully we know after practice tomorrow.
ACR said heard it here first. Scott's on the juice. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the good stuff. Trust me. Trust me. Yeah, man. I wish it was the good stuff, but it's. Yeah. I'm just gonna lay on the couch and watch some football.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my thing. Do we know how the Lions are doing?
You got the Lions on? What score? 7-7.
Okay, hanging tight.
They just scored? Kansas City just scored.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah. We blew a drive a little bit ago, Aaron said. We'll see.
Not in the lead, but okay. With that, hope everybody has a great weekend. We will be back with you next week. I don't really have anything scheduled next week, so I got to get that figured out too. I had some things came out of the Shelby Neal thing that were kind of sneaky newsworthy, but I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it yet. Maybe we'll do that next week.
Okay.
With
Put that on my notes.
We will catch everybody next week on Thursday night CrossFit Talk. Bye, guys.